Good morning, listeners. This is Linda from News in Bed, with the headline that you need to know before getting out of bed. Today is Thursday, November 19th, 2015. Here's our top story. French authorities took the offensive Wednesday, raiding a purported hideout of the ringleader in last week's deadly Paris attacks in an ordeal that ended with 8 detained, 2 dead, and potentially more bloodshed thwarted in the European nation. Paris prosecutor Francois Molins said Wednesday that Abaaoud, a Frenchman who's thought to have recently come from ISIS's de facto capital of Raqqa in Syria, was thought to have holed up at one point on the 3rd floor of an apartment building in Saint-Denis, a northern Paris suburb. Whether he was there when scores of heavily armed French police launched their assault at 4:20 a.m. on Wednesday is unknown. Authorities zeroed in on the building in Saint-Denis after picking up phone conversations indicating that a relative of Abaaoud might be there. They met fierce resistance from the start, including a woman who blew herself up and bullets flying back and forth for about an hour. The French officers even used powerful munitions, which led to one floor collapsing. That violence produced rubble that included body parts, on which investigators are conducting DNA tests, trying to pinpoint the identities of the 2 slain terrorists. Molins did note that neither Abaaoud or Salah Abdeslam, who also was allegedly involved in last week's bloodshed, are among the 8 detained. French President Francois Molins held up the vicious back and forth as further proof that we are at war with ISIS. What the terrorists were targeting was what France represents. This is what was attacked on the night of November 13th, he said. These barbarians targeted France's diversity. It was the youth of France who were targeted simply because they represent life. Given this threat, Hollande has proposed extending France's state of emergency for 3 more months, a measure that, among other things, gives authorities greater powers in conducting searches, holding people, and dissolving certain groups. He'll also appeal to world leaders, including meeting next week with U.S. President Barack Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin, who have been at odds on what to do in Syria, to go after the savage Islamist extremist group. There is no more divide. There are only men and women of duty, he said. We must destroy this army that menaces the entire world, not just some countries. And that is our headline for today. Have a safe and peaceful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.